Thank you, Lisa.
I will call to order the November 17th, 2022 meeting of the SAFEGA Board of Directors. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Director Conant,
Present.
Director Avdis,
Here.
Director Barandis.
Here.
I'm sorry, Director Barandis? Thank
Here.
you. Thank you. Director Holloway, Director Shaw, Director Ashby, Vice Chairman Harris. Thank you, Director Ashby. Vice Chairman Harris,
I'm here.
Director Jennings, Director Desmond, Director Frost,
Here.
Chairman Kennedy,
Here.
Director Natoli, and Director Nava.
Here.
We do have a 9-member quorum. Thank you.
Will you make the announcements?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting of SAFEGA is being broadcast and will be re-aired on Saturday, November 19th at 2 p.m. And you can also view the meeting on SAFEGA's website within 48 hours after the meeting. Members of the audience, I have muted your microphones until you want to speak, just to help eliminate excess noise. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you.
Again, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And let me just give a special welcome to Director Barandis. It's been a while, so good to see you, sir. And with that, do we have public comment?
I have not received any public comments for items not listed on the agenda.
Okay, are there any members of the public online that have any public comments on the items not listed on the agenda? Hearing none, let's move to consent.
Thank you. We have consent items 1 through 6, which are in order.
Move to approve 1 through 6.
Second.
We have a motion by Director Conant and a second by who?
Harris.
Thank you.
All right, are there any items that any members of the board would like to discuss on consent? Do we have any public comment on consent?
I have not received any public comments for consent.
Thank you. Then please call the roll.
Director Conant,
Aye.
Director Avdis,
Aye.
Director Barandis,
Aye.
Director Holloway, Director Shaw, Director Ashby,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Desmond, Director Frost,
Aye.
Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli, Director Nava.
Aye.
Motion passes with 9-member approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Separate matters.
Separate matters, item 7 is a resolution of appreciation number 2022132, recognizing Angelique Ashby for her contributions to the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency.
And Mr. Johnson, are you going to address this?
Yes. So good afternoon, everyone. Well, we're coming to a end of an era for a couple of our board members today, and so we'd like to start with recognizing Angelique Ashby. Angelique has been on the board since 2010 when she was elected as, and she was 14 and vice chair in 2013 and 15. And it was during those times where we were really trying hard to get a authorization for the work components. And I know Ashby was particularly passionate about that and her role there, and often went to DC and did a lot to make that happen. And I really appreciate all the effort that she did on that. And it was during her tenure as chair when the authorization was finally signed into law. And so Angelique's always been very supportive of me, and I appreciate it. And one personal thing I'll always remember is I remember walking around DC, and we'd go from meeting to meeting, and it'd be a walk between buildings. She'd stop and take a picture, and then a minute or two later, she'd say, well, I already have 40 likes on Facebook. So in that time, she took the picture, was able to post it and get all these likes. I hadn't ever been on Facebook before, so I opened a Facebook account because of that trip there. So I always remember Angelique for that. So with that, we do have a resolution I'd like the board to consider. Just recognizing Angelique for all of her efforts and help, and thanking her for that.
Yeah, Chair, may I offer a comment? First, I'd like to thank Angelique, not only for her work on SAFEGA, but for introducing Rick to the digital age, which is a pretty cool accomplishment. Angelique, I do appreciate very much that you have stuck with SAFEGA for 12 years, and look what's been accomplished. So well done, and we wish you well in your next pursuit.
Any other board members like to comment on this item?
I'd like to say something, Chair Kennedy.
Please.
I just want to congratulate you on your campaign. It looks like it's going really well. And I want to let you know, Angelique, that I've truly enjoyed working with you on SAFEGA and other boards, and I wish you all the best as you move forward.
Thank you. As any other board members, what we're going to do is we're going to, once board members are through addressing the item, we will vote on it, and then we will give a moment for Director Ashby to make any comments she might have. Anybody else?
Chair, I'd like to move the resolution.
Second, Conant.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Harris and second by Director Conant. Is there any other comments or discussion? And do we have any public comment on this item?
Hey, Chair.
Yes.
This is
that
Rick Jennings.
Director Jennings?
Hey, I just wanted to make a comment, a brief comment.
Yes, sir.
Getting on this board is not something that we were prepared for when we first got on it, but the person that I always modeled after and listened to and watched and tried to imitate was Angelique Ashby. And so I just really want to thank her for her leadership in all that she does, but especially on this particular board, and wish her the very best in the future, whatever that may hold for her. And always know that someone's watching you because you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Director. Any others? Do we have any public comment on this? Hearing none, then please call the roll. Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Director Conant,
Aye.
Director Avdes,
Aye.
Director Barandis,
Aye.
Director Holloway, Director Shaw, Director Ashby. Vote yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Harris,
Enthusiastic aye.
Director Jennings,
I'll second that enthusiastic aye.
Director Desmond, Director Frost,
Aye.
Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli, Director Nava.
Aye.
Motion passes with 9-member approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Ashby, do you have any comments you would like to, any parting wisdom you would like to leave with us?
I don't know about wisdom. Thank you for letting me be remote. I know there's a slight delay when I call in, so thanks for your patience with that. I'm glad that I was able to bring Rick a little bit into the digital age. I apologize to my colleagues that I couldn't do more with Don Natoli. I tried my best.
I'm here, Ashley. You did good.
That's not going to happen.
There he is. I couldn't. He did switch from a flip phone eventually, but that's about the best we could do. Sorry.
Yes.
I do. I have, SAFECA is one of those boards that when I came on, of course, I represented a district that was in a building moratorium, and I got calls from folks like Mayor Fargo and others who said, you're going to have to take this on and go try your best. And sorry for the noise in the background. I didn't know, much, but I learned a lot, mostly from that incredible SAFECA professional staff that we have there. And I proudly made the motion to hire Rick, something that I think is really important and has changed the makeup of this city for a long time and really improved the quality of lives for lots of people to have that incredible human in charge of our flood control agency and protect him at all costs, you guys. That guy is a treasure and a gem. And every time we went to DC, I had to share him with every other project, Everglades, the Mississippi, New Orleans, anybody who needed his expertise, because they just were always so happy to see him and be able to ask him questions. The other thing I will always treasure about being on the SAFECA board, I actually grew pretty tired of that back and forth trip to DC because I did it so many times. And part of the times that I did it, I had a very young little daughter who's now 9, but she was a little baby when she went with me the first few. And I'll never, ever forget Don Natoli helping me balance being a mom in Washington, D.C., needing to find my daughter and feed her, with also advocating as hard as we could for the Sacramento region. And I remember Don making himself an expert on all things Natomas, just in case I would need to step out of meetings. And I did. And I'm so grateful for the team atmosphere that SAFECA builds for this region. It carries over, as Sue Frost said, into other boards and commissions. And I'm very proud to have been a part of it, very proud of this team, and hopeful that I'll have the opportunity to support you in other ways in the weeks and years to come. So thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you for the friendship. And keep going, keep going.
Thank you very much, Director Ashby, for your service and your dedication to particularly the Natomas Basin and all of the work that you've done for SAFECA. And keep your cell phone on, because we'll be knocking on your door asking for more money in the future.
I'll be there.
Thank you. Next item,
Before
please.
we move on, Director Natoli, since you stepped in a little late, would you like to vote on this, on Angelique's resolution?
Absolutely. I want to make it fully unanimous. So
Thank you.
Yes.
10-member approval.
Aye. Thanks for including me, Linda. Yes, and thank you, Mr. Chair. So, and congratulations, Angelique. You're a good friend, and we wish you well. Thanks.
Thank you, Don.
Separate matters, item 8, resolution of appreciation number 2022133, recognizing Jeff Harris for his contributions to the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, thank you. So, Jeff, saying goodbye to Jeff also this last meeting today. He joined us City Council in 2014 and has been on the SAFECA board ever since. He served as our chair in 2016, 2019, and 2021, as our vice chair in 2018, 2020, and 22. So the other thing, too, is a lot of you may not remember, but back in 2016, when the YOLO bypass partnership was formed by the state, the board selected Jeff to be its representative on that, and Jeff has done an excellent job serving on that, especially since we've got a lot of other interests on that board, and Jeff's done a great job of recognizing those interests and helping to move things forward and for our betterment during that that time. So I really thank Jeff for all of his help on the yellow bypass and all the many trips that he's made. Probably on a personal note, the thing I'll remember most about Jeff is I think he really enjoyed the trips to DC, and especially whenever we had an opportunity to be with Mike Strawn. And so it was always enjoyable when we were in DC together there. So Jeff has stepped in a lot of times to help with specific issues with the community and has been supportive. So I would like to thank Jeff for all of his efforts on our behalf and ask the board to consider the resolution to thank Jeff for his service and his help.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Is there any members of the board that have comments at this time?
I do, if there's time.
Yep, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I have served on a lot of boards over the last 12 years with a lot of people who are very passionate about topics. If you made me rank them in order, I would put Councilmember Harris and his love for being on this SAFCA board at number one. He absolutely read everything possible, studied everything possible, and did everything in his power to be an expert on the things that SAFCA would be taking up and trying very hard to serve the whole region, but especially the people in Nokomis. And I'm grateful to Jeff for his incredible commitment and his love for this topic. And it really has made a big difference. So I'm happy to move the item too. And congratulations, Jeff, on really all the hard work that you've put forward, especially on this board.
Thank you, Angelique.
Thank you, Director Ashby, and the board will second that motion and ask if there's any others that would like to make a comment.
I'd just like to say, Jeff, Angelique said it so well, and I always remember you as the person who seemed to know. There's a couple people on this board that know a lot and always have, intelligent, insight and input and questions to ask, and your passion and your love for it and your willingness to travel and do all the things that you've done during the time I've been on this board, your commitment to it is really noticeable. And I think I've said it before in several of the boards, but I really admire your work ethic and your commitment to your position as a leader in the community. And I will all miss you, and I wish you all the best wherever you're going next. I'll look forward to seeing it. And we'll miss you on this board. So best wishes.
Thanks, Sue.
You, Director Frost, any others?
Yeah. Director, okay, go ahead.
One at a time. Who we got?
I'll yield.
Okay, just very quick. I get to keep saying goodbye to Jeff on all these different boards, but I know I've appreciated serving with you in multiple capacities, Jeff. I said it before, and certainly I consider you a friend, and I've appreciated your attentiveness, certainly to flood protection, you and Angelique both. But I know you've worked really hard, certainly for your district and for the city, but for the region, and commend you for that. And I know your good efforts, obviously, the both of you leave a strong legacy of, of, I think, confidence with the community that they're protected and that they can conduct their lives, without threat of flood. But really appreciate your efforts, and I know you've been a consensus builder and again a true champion for the region and certainly for flood protection. So thanks again, Jeff.
Thank you, Don.
So Jeff, you and I came in together in 2014, and I have really enjoyed our relationship and watching you as you have just become a leader in so many incredible areas, but especially as it relates to flood protection. When I look at this resolution, I think it goes without saying that someone that has served in a leadership role 5 of the last 6 years. You know, I don't think anybody has done that I know of. And so it's because of your love, it's because of your dedication, it's because of your leadership. And I just want to acknowledge it and ditto what everyone else has already said, but to let you know, it goes without saying that you are a true leader as it relates to the area of flood control, as it relates to governance, as it relates to being a leader in the city of Sacramento, and you will be missed, my brother. You will be missed. So I'm gonna keep you on speed dial in case I need to call you and ask for some knowledge on some of the things that I know you know that I don't know. I'm gonna keep you on speed dial, and I hope that we'll stay in touch with each other.
Thanks, Rick.
Any other board members? Okay, then I will jump in. And I'll say to Vice Chair Harris, it's been a huge privilege to serve with you as your vice chair and as you as vice chair supporting me as chair. I don't know of anybody who in an elected office in Sacramento who has a grasp of these issues, even close to what you do. Your passion for protecting the Sacramento community. I have seen you at times put yourself at great political peril with your own constituents, with a spine of steel to do what is right to help our community and help your constituents and all of our constituents. There's no one even close. Over the last several years that you and I have had a very close relationship on this board, and you become my personal friend. But I will tell you this, that I don't think that I can think of one time that we met and talked about flood control or the site's reservoir or other water issues when I didn't learn something. I really enjoyed watching you, learning from you, being with you in the trenches to protect Sacramento. And I can tell you that when you leave this board, it just got a little bit dumber. So, thank you, Jeff, for your commitment to our community and everything that you've done for SAFECA.
Wow, thanks a bunch, Patrick.
Director Kennedy, Mike Strawn has raised his hand to speak.
Okay, Mike, you can speak, but if you're on the clock, make it fast.
Oh, well, it'll be a very short conversation then. Thank you, Chair Kennedy. I just wanted to say, and I meant to get on earlier when Council Member Ashby was on, but I'm in that technological category comparable to the flip phone, which was mentioned earlier. I just wanted to say for Council Member Ashby, Council Member Harris, and Supervisor Natoli, all of whom I've worked with, have the highest esteem and respect for. I've had the privilege to work with, provide support to, be friends with, and only occasionally be slapped around by all three of them. And I have found them to be not only dedicated, but true professionals, public servants, and the highest sense of the word. I just want to express my appreciation for their support and their friendship. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mike. Good to see you. With that, I believe we have a motion on the floor and a second. Would the clerk please
I'm
call
sorry,
the roll?
Chairman Kennedy. Matt Conant has raised his hand also.
Thank you. I apologize. I can't see the hands raised.
It's okay.
Jeff, I'd like to say, Matt Conant here, thanks for your service. Always, you have a great deal of knowledge in your comments to the board, and I really appreciate that. And thank you very much for your service.
Cheers, Matt.
Anybody else? Okay, would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. We have a motion by Director Ashby, seconded by Chairman Kennedy. Director Conant.
Aye.
Director Avdis.
Aye.
Director Barandis.
Aye.
Director Holloway. Director Shaw. Director Ashby.
Yes.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Harris.
I reckon.
Thank you. Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Desmond, Director Frost,
Aye.
Chairman Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Nava.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes with 10-member approval.
Thank you. And with that, Vice Chair, you have the floor.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Your comments were really well received. I really appreciate them. And to everybody, you wonder why I have so much passion for Safeguards, because I live next to a levee that is in an area that is definitely imperiled from flood threat. And frankly, I like to live. And so that's why I threw myself into this with real passion, to protect my neighborhood, to protect the city. When I ran for council, I actually, part of my platform was working on flood control, because in 1997, River Park was almost lost. It's really that simple. I really do love the work. It's pretty geeky. I love everything about water, but I'll tell you what, losing my job on the council because of redistricting is rude, but losing my seat on SAFCA is just flat painful. The people who work in this agency are just simply the best. Every one of our staff are amazing. And the things that have been accomplished in my 8 years serving on SAFCA is just phenomenal. Our region is so much better protected, and there's so much potential for the future. I just have to say that, these folks that I've worked with on SAFCA are just, they're wonderful people and good friends. I love them dearly. And Mike Strawn, I got to tell you, you're something else. When I was chair, I would often say hi to you during the meetings, because I just so enjoy my time in Washington with you, because you have taught me so much. So much about the political process on the national level, and about flood risk reduction on the national level. Rick Johnson, you're an amazing executive director, leader of this organization. You're incredible. You're a very humble man, but you speak very softly, but you carry a big stick, my friend. And you have led this region into an era where we are going to have real flood protection. I mean, something very, very substantial. It's been an honor and a privilege to work on this board. And it's true, I really do love it. I'm pretty passionate about it. And, moving forward, I hope to keep my hand in a little bit in one way or the other. I'm looking for some kind of job dealing with water supply reliability and flood control. So we'll see where that leads me. But to all my fellow board members, congratulate yourselves. We have made a few decisions that have carried things forward and really improved our region. So in closing, I just want to say it's been a ball, and I am really going to miss it.
Thank you very much, Jeff. All right, with that, next item, please.
Item 9 is the Executive Director's Report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks both Jeff and Ansley for the kind words. Appreciate it. And we'll miss you guys. So just real quick, a few items. Our South Pacific Division Commander, Tony Gant, just got promoted to Brigadier General. She's a great advocate of SAFCA. We had a chance to meet with her just recently. She's really has helped our program move forward, and having her get to be Brigadier General just helps overall give her a little more status within the Corps. So I just wanted to make you aware of that that one there. So if we go to the next slide, a couple of things. One, the Corps has put together a couple of videos that I wanted to make you aware of, and you don't need to jot down the YouTube title there, because if you go to our webpage after Lindy posts this, she'll post my presentation on there, then you can see the link. But this particular one is work. It's several minutes long, but it shows the construction going on right now at the Sac Weir widening. This is actually a Safeco contract. We are taking the old railroad embankment down right now, removing that and moving the material over to the location where new levee on the north side is going to be. And it's just real interesting to see that work going on. First phase there before the Corps will award the contract here in a few months to actually build a new weir. So I just wanted to make aware if you wanted to take a look at this. You go to the next slide, please. And then also the Corps put together, and this is a little longer video. This one's about 22 minutes long, but they put together a video that's on their webpage here to try to explain all the work that they're going to be doing in Reach A and why they're doing it in the Thomas. And, you know, this is the area that I've been kind of worried about the most, just because we're really getting down into the heavily populated area. And so worried from two standpoints. One, I wanted to get the work done to increase the protection, but we do know that the construction will impact folks. And so if you want, this video is also available. So if we go to the next slide, changing directions again a little bit, I did want to make you aware we still don't have our 2023 appropriations yet. Just a reminder, the House did pass it back in July. It was pretty much along party lines. The Senate released their draft, our energy and water development appropriations, but no bill has passed yet. If you can go to the next slide. So towards the end of before I hit that, the reason this is important are two things. One is we do have the new study start for the YOLO bypass study and funding for it. And then also it's our largest funding year ever for Natomas. So another $73 million is in the appropriation bill, both the House and Senate versions. So if you go to the next slide. So the fiscal year ended, the old fiscal year ended September 30th and the new one started October 1st. But Congress passed a continuing resolution that is running the government, basically funds us through December 16th at the FY 2022 levels. So we are anxious to get the appropriation bill passed because of the funding for the YOLO study. And if we have to continue moving forward with the Thomas at the FY 22 levels for a while, we did almost have about 157 million. So they'll be able to keep going on the Thomas. That's not going to hold us up there for a while, but we do want it passed to get to the larger funding amount, and so we can start the comprehensive study. So just want to make you aware. I don't know if they'll get it done in lame duck. If not, then they'll have to start over again with new bills with the new Congress that starts in January. So with that, that's all I had. I'll take any questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. With that, I believe we are going into closed session, and Lindy, give us whatever marching orders we need.
Thank you. We will now continue on with closed session, and we will return to this meeting for presentation of the remaining agenda items. Just as a reminder, the meeting is being recorded. Please leave your microphones on mute. And directors, please look for the pop-up on your screen inviting you to join closed session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Frost?
Here.
Chairman Kennedy is here. Chairman Kennedy?
Here, sorry about that.
Thank you. Director Natoli?
Here.
Director Nava?
Here.
We do have a quorum,
Great.
and we
Thank you
do
very
have
much.
a 9-member quorum.
Thank you.
Report out on closed session number 54956.8, conference with real property negotiators regarding property at 7311 and 7495 East Levy Road, Rio Linda, California. Sacramento County APN 201-0190-038 and 039. Negotiating party, Terrence W. Wells.
This is Jeremy Goldberg, Agency Counsel. Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you. Next item.
Thank you. Government Code Section 54956.8, conference with real property negotiators regarding property at 1015 Rio Lane, Sacramento, California. Sacramento County APN 016-0161-035. Negotiating party, Randy Berveen.
Again, Jeremy Goldberg, Agency Counsel. Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you.
Separate
Next
matters.
slide, please. Separate matters, item 10 is a public hearing, resolution of necessity number 2022134. This item is continued from the May 19th and the August 18th, 2022 Board of Directors meeting, authorizing an eminent domain action to condemn real property interests for the American River Common Features 2016 Flood Risk Management Project, Sacramento River East Levee easement interest acquisition over portions of Sacramento County Assessor's parcel number 016-0161-035. Property owners Randolph M. Boreen Trust, Leslie Stewart Separate Trust, Mark Stewart Separate Trust, Laura Stewart Separate Trust, and Kathleen A. Worley Revocable Living Trust.
I see Mr. Harris has his hand up, but first, is there a staff report?
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, directors. Yeah, this is Matt Tergoat, Real Estate Program Manager, and there will be a presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, so as was indicated, this presentation is for resolution of necessity, number 2022-134, authorizing an eminent domain action to condemn real property interests on the aforementioned property. And the property in question is located at 1015 Rio Lane in the Little Pocket area of the city of Sacramento, Sacramento County. Acquisition of the property is required for the American River Common Features 2016 Flood Risk Management Project, Sacramento River East Levee. Next slide, please. So here we have attachment A, is a map of the ARC of 2016 project improvements. So this is just a general exhibit showing the activities that have been proposed for the larger project, and it shows some erosion work that's been done and proposed to be done, adding a little bit of height here and there to the levees, and some seepage and stability. Okay, next slide, please. Attachment B is a map of where the property is located at 1015 Rio Lane. So this property, you can see where it is. It's toward the middle of the screen there, where the arrow and APN are indicated. And this is located on contract 4 of the Sacramento River East Levee seepage and stability portion of the larger project. So attachment C is an exhibit showing the levee improvements along this portion of contract 4 of the project. And those include installing a jet grout and soil bentonite cutoff walls. So the property in question is located kind of right in the middle of the screen where the proposed transition between those two walls is at. Okay, next slide, please. So here we have a better graphic of the property and the proposed acquisition. So we're proposing a permanent flood control acquisition, and that's shown in the area in orange here. And it should point out that we also tried to show where the approximate landside levee toe is, and that is shown in the red hashed line right there. So this entire acquisition is actually on the water side of the landside levee toe. So it is only over the levee portion of this property, and so it goes basically from landside toe all the way to the edge of the water. Next slide, please. So attachment D to the staff report is the project description and necessity for the acquisition. On January 19th of 2022, SAFCA sent a letter to the property owners advising them that the upcoming levee improvement project will affect their property. On February 2nd of 2022, SAFCA sent a letter to the property owners advising them that SAFCA was preparing an appraisal to acquire a permanent flood control easement over a portion of the property. Next slide, please. On March 18th of 2022, SAFCA did provide a formal written offer to purchase a permanent flood control easement over a portion of the property for above the fair full market value as determined by the appraisal. Attachment H is can you go back, please? Attachment H is the diary of discussions between SAFCA's right-of-way acquisition consultant and the owners, in which they discuss the potential effects that the project has on the property and the requirement that an easement is required on a portion of the property and the right-of-way acquisition process that would be involved in that. So then on April 29th of 2022, SAFCA mailed, and not having reached, an agreement with the property owner, mailed a written notice to the owners of the property advising them that this board would hold a meeting on May 19th of 2022 to consider the adoption of a resolution of necessity to acquire the property by eminent domain. Next slide, please. On May 18th, the property owner did grant SAFCA a temporary permit to allow the construction activities to take place on the property for the project. And SAFCA was able to certify this portion of the project to the Army Corps using those temporary rights. However, permanent rights were still required for the long-term operation and maintenance of the levee. So on May 19th, at the May 19th board meeting, this board continued the resolution of necessity to the August 18th, 2022 board meeting to allow the property owner more time to have their own appraisal done of the property. So not having received any appraisal or reached an agreement, on July 29th of 2022, SAFCA did mail a written notice to the property owner advising them that this board would hold a hearing on August 18th to consider the adoption of a resolution of necessity to acquire the property by eminent domain. Next slide, please. So then at the August 18th board meeting, this board did continue the resolution of necessity hearing to this meeting today. It's November 17th, 2022 meeting. To again allow the property owner to have more time to have an appraisal conducted of the property. So we have not received that appraisal as of yet, and we have not reached an agreement as of yet. So on October 27th of 2022, SAFCA did mail another written notice to the property owner advising them that this board would hold a hearing today at this time to consider the adoption of a resolution of necessity to acquire the property by eminent domain. So again, and then wrapping up this presentation is just a couple slides showing what the exhibits are on this resolution. So this is the legal description of the proposed acquisition. And next slide, please. And here is just the plat of the proposed acquisition. So again, I'll say, we have not received, at this point, we have not reached an agreement with the property owner. We're still waiting an appraisal to be submitted to us or a counteroffer from the property owner. So unfortunately, right now, we find ourselves at an impasse, and we do need to acquire these permanent rights by the end of the construction that will be taking place just next year. So it's for those reasons why we're bringing this resolution before the board today for consideration. But we will continue to work with this property owner if this resolution is passed for as long as we can in parallel to hopefully reach a negotiated agreement. So, and with that, I will take any questions.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair Harris.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Kennedy. Matt, thanks for a pretty thorough explanation of the process. We have frankly talked about this situation for a long time in open session and closed, and offered ample opportunity to the property owner to come to a settlement, some kind of resolution. For those reasons, I would like to move the resolution of necessity and eminent domain action. I think it's time to move forward on this issue.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Harris and a second by Director Conan, I believe. Is there any other questions or comments?
Director Kennedy, you need to open the public hearing, please.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm asking if there's any questions of the board. Okay, there being none, then we will open up the public hearing. Is there any member of the public at this time that would like to address the board on this issue? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. And we have a motion and a second on the floor. If there's no more comments from the board, please roll call vote.
I beg your pardon. I didn't catch who the second was.
It was Director Conan.
Thank you. Director Conant?
Aye.
Director Avdis?
Aye.
Director Barandis?
Brandis, aye.
Director Ashby? Vice Chairman Harris?
Aye.
Director Jennings?
Yes.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Chairman Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Natoli?
Aye.
Director Nava?
Aye.
Motion passes with 10-member approval.
Thank you. Item number 11, please.
Item number 11, public hearing, resolution of necessity number 2022135, authorizing an eminent domain action to condemn real property interests for the Reach G component of Phase 4B of the Natomas Levee Improvement Project, fee interest, electrical and communication facilities easement, and temporary construction easement acquisition over portions of Sacramento County Assessor's Parcel Number 201-0190-038 and 039 at 7311 and 7495 East Levee Road, Rio Linda, California 95673. Property owners, Mr. Terrence W. Wells.
Thank you. Is there a staff presentation?
Good afternoon again, Directors. Matt Real Estate Program Manager. At this time, staff would like to recommend that this board continue this item to the February board meeting to allow the property owner more time to have an appraisal conducted of the property.
Okay. Are there any questions of the board? The chair will move to continue this item then. Is there a second?
Second. Avdis.
Who was that?
Second by Director Avdis.
You. Any member of the public like to comment at this time, recognizing that we will be hearing this again in February? Hearing none, please roll call vote.
Director Conant?
Aye.
Director Avdis?
Aye.
Director Barandis?
Brandis, aye.
Director Ashby? Vice Chairman Harris? Vice Chairman Harris? Director Jennings?
Yes.
Director Frost?
Aye.
Chairman Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Nava.
Aye.
Lindy, Vice Chair, is an aye.
Thank you. Motion passes with 9 members.
Thank you very much. Vice Chair Harris, you have your hand up, or is that just a remnant of the past? Thank you. Okay, with that, I
Next
believe
slide,
that
please,
is
Alia.
the end of our business for today. Our next board meeting is December 15th, and we will stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. You too.